So the Minnesota Vikings completed their first preseason game on Saturday, beating the Houston Texans 20-10. Now, wins and losses don't matter at all in the preseason, but it's always good to see the purple come away with a victory. And I came away with some observations from that game. Now, this video is not going to include any observations about J.J McCarthy. I'm going to make a second video about that, but I did come away with some from yesterday. So starting with Starting on the position group that the Vikings invested the most in this offseason, the offensive line. Small sample size, even though that was a 13-play scoring drive to start the game. But you saw 4 of the 5 starters out there. No Christian Darrisaw, that's expected out there. But you saw the other 4 out there, Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, and Brian O'Neill. And then Jordan Mason had 4 runs on that drive. Out of 3 of them, 5 yards, 9 yards, 5 yards. And it just seemed like the Vikings offensive line really just created those opportunities for him. And Mason, hard runner as he is, it kind of looked easy. It kind of looked easy, and it moved the ball, aided that 13-play scoring drive. And, very positive early signs there for the run game. This team's going to have to run the ball. It wasn't where it needed to be last year, which is weird saying for a team coming off a 14-3 season, but it ultimately doomed them at the end of the year, especially in the red zone against Detroit at Ford Field. So they're going to need to be able to run the ball, especially with a young quarterback in J.J McCarthy, and some really early positive signs there in a small sample size. Loved it. As for the rookie on that offensive line, first-round pick Donovan Jackson, my takeaway from it was, you can tell who the rookie was on the ones. And just welcome to the NFL, Donovan Jackson. I know the one play he tripped on Ryan Kelly and fell down. And outside, I think he fell down again at another point on that drive. Outside of that, I thought he was all right. But you see he's got a ways to go. Nothing to be real too upset or mad about. He's a rookie. It's his first time out there. But you can tell he's got a long way to go. Still think he's going to be a very good guard in the NFL. And so there's going to be bumps and bruises, ups and downs there, and that's okay. That's a rookie. Also on the offense, now it's just unfortunate what happened to Rondale Moore early in the game on that punt return. That was his first touch of the season, and I think the season's over for him, I believe. Haven't looked at anything, but it's a significant leg injury, I think, or something like that. I don't want to be wrong here, but it's over. I think the season is over, and that kind of just shakes up the wide receiver room. I expect the Vikings to probably go out and sign a wide receiver. Now, I know last year they didn't have Jordan Addison to begin the year, or T.J. Hockenson. They're not going to have Addison to begin the year this year as well, but you still had Trent Sherfield and Brandon Powell, 2 reliable wide receivers, but you don't really have that heading in to this year because Lucky Jackson is wide receiver 4, and you've been hearing that he's been having a nice training camp. And it kind of showed. It showed against the Texans, 3 catches, 30 yards. He had a nice contested catch in the air on Saturday. It's a name, like I said, they've been talking about. He's bounced around early in his career, and I believe in the original USFL, XFL, then he was in the CFL. But he's been with the Vikings since 2023, and this is a really good opportunity for him to show that he can be that wide receiver for there and really push to make this roster. And also Ty Felton, 3rd-round pick, Maryland, 2 catches, 2 first downs, but his best play of the day arguably came on where he's going to be playing the most at, and that is on special teams when he forced that fumble. I don't know who was returning it for the Houston Texans. The Vikings weren't able to recover, but that is just something nice to see, especially, 3rd-round pick. You have your 3 wide receivers, so he's probably going to be playing a lot of special teams, like I said, and that was just real nice to see there. Also, within the depth of the roster, you hope that you just see J.J. McCarthy throughout the entirety of the season unless the Vikings are blowing a team out. But, Brett Rippon might be the odd man out in that quarterback room. Sam Howell outperformed him on the day. Howell finished 11 of 13, led a 94-yard touchdown drive, made some nice throws. He has a nice arm. He threw some beautiful balls out there, and so I think he's kind of separating himself to be a lock for that number 2. The battle's going to be between who's the number 3, and I'm saying that because Max Brosmer did look nice yesterday, undrafted free agent out of Minnesota. If you look at my past video, it's a guy that I am excited about to watch throughout this preseason. And, ripping one pass completion, took 2 sacks. Outperformed by the other 3 quarterbacks that played on Saturday. So while Hal is possibly that lock for the number 2, the battle over these next 2 weeks are going to be between Rippon and Brosmer, and I'm excited for that. Go win the battle, Max Brosmer. I want you to be the long-term QB2 for the Minnesota Vikings there. And then speaking of more position battles on offense, at running back, Ty Chandler was outperformed by Xavier Scott. Now, Scott is a guy that I haven't been really paying much attention to. I just thought, Ty Chandler, he's going to make it as RB3. And then a lot of people were kind of excited about Trey Stewart, undrafted free agent out of Jacksonville State. But Scott, man, he just went out there and played with a lot of juice. I mean, it seemed like he just played with a lot more juice than Chandler did. And he was out there breaking tackles, running through people, and it paid dividends as he had 5.7 yards per pop on the afternoon. So this is a guy I'm going to have to go look and research him up, see where he came from. But he performed well yesterday. And I think as of now, if it were to be decided today, he would be the running back 3 heading into Soldier Field for week 1 of the NFL season on Monday Night Football. So that's going to be fun to watch. That's kind of a surprise there. Going to the defensive side of the football, there's really 2 things that stood out to me on Saturday. One, Gabriel Murphy was the defensive MVP of that game on Saturday against the Texans. Guy was causing havoc against Caden Slovis and friends. 2 sacks, and I think he got a pressure or something as well in there as well. But this is a guy that I was just shocked that went undrafted in 2024. I actually thought the Vikings were going to get him in maybe the 5th round or something in the 2024 draft, but he just went undrafted. I believe he got hurt or something last year as well, but, got some run late in the season, got in games, especially in that Falcons game, I believe. But, your 3 edges are set. Jonathan Grenard, Dallas Turner, Andrew Van Ginkel. You hope Turner continues to make strides going forward this season. I didn't really have any takeaways. I have to go back and look from him in the preseason game because I didn't know he played. But if you have 4 edge rushers that you can rely on, man, that just does a lot for your defense. And also speak more on Kwesi Adolphus-Mensah's undrafted free agent process because he has found some gems there. So Gabriel Murphy, what a day for him yesterday. And then also in the interior of the defensive line, I noticed on one play, this was mid of the 3rd quarter, saw a defensive lineman. He got a pressure on the quarterback. I was like, oh, okay, who the heck was that? And then the next play, he gets a run stop. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. So I wrote down the number, looked on the Vikings roster guide, and it was Elijah Williams, undrafted free agent this year from Morgan State. Man, love to hear it. And it's also a guy I saw is on Twitter. That name was mentioned as well. Didn't really think too much about it. But, the interior of this defensive line, there's some battles going on within there. And there's some guys that have talent and a lot of potential. So it's fun to see a guy like Elijah Williams put his name in there as well and make some plays and really jump out. And so I thought that was really positive as well. And it just jumped out to me when I saw those 2 back-to-back plays there. So all fun there. Very fun. And then just kind of the last 2 things I have here. We have a kicker. Will Reichard did what he needed to do yesterday. And that's weird, probably. You say that in any other NFL fan base, but you know how Vikings are with kickers. We need a stability at the kicking position. And we have a kicker, Will Reichard. Just go out and do your job each week. And we are going to be very, very happy about that. But also, I don't know how Graham Mertz was drafted and Max Brosmer wasn't. That's also something I kind of noted. Don't know how the heck that happened, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. So that's kind of what I had. But a lot of positives coming away from the Vikings' first preseason game against the Houston Texans. A lot to like. Excited for this week as well. I believe it's the joint practices with the New England Patriots. I'm excited to hear what the stories that come from that. And then next preseason game next Saturday against the Patriots. Home game, I believe, too, as well. So overall, a lot of good and all of that. So Skol Vikes.